This guy loves flying even more than I do, though, and he is in our Zoom. He is my friend Leigh Stanley. He is a designated pilot examiner with the FAA. He can get guys like me their pilot's license. He can also, not give us our pilot's license. So he's my best friend. He helps examine people all the way up to the guys that fly your big 747s. He's got over 20,000 hours in the air, been flying for 27 years, was the chief pilot for Chrysler. Tyler, look at this flying resume. Leigh, who's on camera right now, has flown Paul McCartney, Dire Straits, Whitney Houston, Jack Black, and Lee Iacocca. Leigh Stanley, thank you very much for joining us on the MegaCast.
Good morning, Dave.
How you doing, my friend?
Oh, not bad for the year and the miles. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I like the backdrop. See, everyone comes here with a Zoom situation that is befitting who they are. You got the big clouds behind you, a towering cumulonimbus right behind you. I like that. So.
Well, I was actually going to do this one. I thought that was a bit better,
yeah, it's a little better. You're on the beach. So, Leigh, we've got the Blue Angels coming to Detroit today. That's going to be fun. I mean, what a great opportunity to look up in the sky and see some of the most magnificent airplanes and really, some of the most amazing pilots flying overhead today.
Well, that's true. I don't really know much about them because my career was a civilian career. But I did look up some things online because I knew you were going to ask me about them. So I thought I might as well try to look at least a little intelligent.
No. I appreciate it.
I got some interesting facts about them if you'd like to hear them.
I would love to hear some information about the Blue Angels.
Well, they were started in 1946 by Admiral Nimitz, and they were started first off as a recruiting device because they were trying to get people interested in the Navy. So they started off with Hellcats. And they had a contest in Florida to name the Blue Angels, and they came up with the turbo blasters and the wave runners, and actually one of the guys in the first exhibition team was at a nightclub called the Blue Angel Nightclub in New York City. He thought, hey, that's a pretty good name, and it subsequently stuck. So, and they fly, the fastest they go is 700 miles an hour. Their ref speeds, which means essentially their approach to land speed is 120 nautical miles an hour.
Or we got to do what we talked about,
So, it's amazing. Leigh, we're just making an adjustment. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but we're trying to make some adjustments to some of the audio going on in your Zoom, and we're hearing some other folks, so we'll fix that real quick. But, it's got to be amazing. I mean, just the physical nature of flying around and pulling the G-forces that they must pull. I mean, the Blue Angels, we may not see it today as they're flying over Detroit, recognizing all the workers here, the frontline workers during the coronavirus. But, when you go to a typical show like the Cherry Festival and you see those guys flying straight up, a couple of miles straight up in the air, what kind of impact does that have on your body? What's that, to the extent that what's that feel like?
Well, they normally in combat aviation, they wear G suits because they don't want the blood to, when you start pulling heavy G's, the blood starts pooling in your feet and your extremities. And so they have G suits that literally squeeze your body, squeeze your chest, squeeze your legs in particular, because that's where a lot of it pools. And so it keeps the blood flowing to your brain so you don't pass out. And you can pull, 7 to 8 to, I think 9 G's is about as much as a human can take. But the Blue Angels can't wear G suits because their stick is right in the middle, and their G suit would be inflating and deflating so much that it would literally hamper the maneuverability of the aircraft. So they have to literally clench their muscles when they fly in the air shows in order to be able to handle the G's that they're pulling in those maneuvers.
That's amazing. Did you take a look at the route? To me, it looks like they're going to be flying, starting over the Ann Arbor area or just west of that, and then heading over downtown and some other areas. Do you have any idea what the Blue Angel route will be next hour here?
I looked it up online. I'm out in the Birmingham, Bloomfield Hills area. They're not coming here. They're going to go over Ann Arbor and then down to Ypsilanti, and then I think it's Deckerville, and then they're going to go down the river to downtown area, and then they're going to fly up, looks like maybe Gratiot or Mound, out to Sterling Heights, Macomb County, back down, make a right turn, back down over the Grosse Pointes, the river, and then out to the west.
All right, well, we're not going to see him probably over Oakland County. These guys got to learn that Woodward and the Dream Cruise is really what it's all about. They should have been coming right up Woodward. So if we're standing in like a really clear area and we don't have any trees around us, do you think there's any possibility that folks in Oakland County would be able to see these guys? I mean, just wild speculation.
I don't know. Maybe they're probably going to be around 3,000 to 5,000 feet. And if you got trees around at all, it'd probably be pretty tough to see them.
All right.
But who knows? I mean, I'm not quite sure what the altitude is that their flight is going to take.
At least for our AHS listeners, 89.5 Avondale Community Radio covers a lot of Macomb County. So you Macomb County people, you're going to have a pretty good chance of seeing them as they work their way up over Lake St. Clair and Selfridge and all that. So, well, listen, thanks for checking in. Fun to talk flying with you for a couple of minutes. So, I mean, you flew Paul McCartney, Dire Straits, Jack Black, Lee Iacocca. And who was like the craziest of all the people that you ever had back in the plane while you were driving around the country?
Well, I don't know how much liability is involved in telling stories about celebrities in the back of your aircraft, but some of the stories you've heard about Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston are true. They happened on board the aircraft. Jack Black is every bit as crazy as he appears in the movies. Maybe even a bit more so. Paul McCartney was a gentleman. He was just a very nice guy. We flew Hugh Jackman too, and Hugh Jackman, of everybody I ever flew that had any notoriety at all, Hugh Jackman was the nicest human being I think I ever met. He was really a genuinely friendly, apparently or seemingly sincere.
It's good.
Nice
Good.
guy.
You know, it's amazing when you run into famous people. You know, some of them are really difficult, and then there are a lot of them that are the nicest people that you ever want to meet, and it's got to be hard for them because they run into so many people. On an unrelated note, I want to mention that you are also in a band called Wind Chill Factor that I've seen many, many times. And I love your band. You guys do classic rock. You play in a lot of clubs. Got to be tough right now with all that closed down, right? I mean, any thoughts about that?
You know, it's a brave new world. I've never experienced anything like this. So I've been flying for 40 years, an examiner for 26, and in the band for playing music for 55, and I have never seen anything like this. So I don't know. I don't know how willing people are going to be to go get back into bars and get into closed spaces, and I just don't know.
Well, and maybe
I hope it's not the end.
I hope it's not the end too. I think people will come back, but there's definitely, we talk about it in every sector of the economy and in everything we do, there's going to be a new normal. I love this picture of the room here. Let's see, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guitars right behind you over there, and there's 6 as your acoustic. So clearly you have a little time to jam right there at your house.
I got plenty of time these days. Hey, I wanted to do a little shout out to, I'm doing a seaplane rating. All these years of flying, I never did a seaplane rating. And I'm doing a seaplane rating next week at Michigan Seaplane on Pontiac Lake, just off of Pontiac Airport. And when I do that, Dave, that will make me a seaplane instructor. So we can do your seaplane rating.
I've always wanted to be able to fly a seaplane. Be careful. Look out below. Make sure it's not a wavy day, and watch out for water skiers. Leigh Stanley, thank you for joining us. I'll see you soon. I appreciate you taking time for us today.
All right. Nice talking to you.
All right. And that guy, I'm telling you, man, Tyler, that guy knows flying, and he's a great – their band, Wind Chill Factor. You get a chance to see them, go check them out. Thanks again, Leigh.